Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus with game 75. Pittsburgh Penguins at the New Jersey Devils. Well, sports porchers, Pittsburgh Penguins pulled off another miracle of a win. And it was an absolute miracle tonight, I can tell you that. 5 goals. That's right, you heard it. 5 goals in the third period. And they stick a big old fork in the New Jersey Devils. Some might say a pitchfork. Looked like the Devils were ready to take the win, but the Pittsburgh Penguins snatched victory out of the hands of defeat. Welcome to the Porch. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about the playoffs. Maybe. Well, shame on you if you did not watch tonight's game, but that's why you come to the Sports Porch, because you have me, your hockey Jesus, ready to tell you exactly what happened tonight. Look, tonight was just your typical, actually, tonight was an atypical Penguins game. 1-1 into the first. Carlson gets on unassisted. Nice goal. First goal in a long while. I think, let's see, he hasn't scored, not this month, not since Edmonton. He's been he's really not scored much this year. But hey, he's got 9 goals on the year. Kicks it off. Penguins look like they're doing good, and then Timo Meier gets a power play goal in the dreaded last minute of the period. Those last minute goals, man, they're a killer. You can be playing so good, and then just everything just at the end of the period like that ties it up. Not good, not good. And the second period was an absolute disaster for the Penguins. Honestly, if it wasn't for Ned, um, it's probably 4-1 or 5-1. Ned just was standing on his head at times, just making 10 bell saves. Can't get them all, unfortunately. And Lazar and Bratt both score. I really like Jesper Bratt, by the way. I think he's a really good player. Hard nosed. He's just got a great shot. I love the way that guy plays. And I wish he was a Pittsburgh Penguin, but he's not. He was a Devil, and they take a 3-1 lead going into the third. Look, truth be told, I was not watching the game in the first and second period. I caught some of the third period on the radio, and I looked at the score, and I'm like, how am I going to tell my fans that the season's over? Because if the Devils win this game, they're jumping over the Penguins, and the Penguins are looking like the Devils are now. The Devils are actually 3 points behind the Pens now, and they got a back-to-back. They got to go play in New York tomorrow. They kind of doing the reverse Penguin thing here. This could be the end of the Devil season. They've had a lot of bad meltdowns this year, more so, I think, than the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is hard to believe. But hey, what gets the Penguins going? A power play goal. And you know what was really ironic about that power play goal? Go back and look at it. Somebody tried to make a up ice pass, going for the shorty on a breakaway, and they kind of flubbed the pass, and Carlson intercepts it. A few passes later, it's going off Gino, it's going off Sid, and then Sid's putting it into the back of the net. Boom, power play goal. Sid's 38th of the year. Just that at that point you're like, okay, they might still have a chance. 3-2, and then a minute and 7 seconds later, who decides to join the party? That's right, it's our Gino Machino. Gino Malkin decides, hey, maybe it's time for me to score a goal. And, Gino did get 2 goals the other night versus Columbus, which was his best night in a while. But since then, he's been invisible. He was invisible this game. I don't even know if he had a shot before he gets that tip in. But hey, good for St. Ivany getting his point on that Gino tip in. Really timely, ties the game. And, at that point, it's a tied game. New Jersey's kind of playing for the tie. They want to get the win, and Pedersen just says, Nope, I'm sorry. I'm going to shoot it in, and Raquel's going to tip it right past your goalie. And at that point, the floodgates were open because just 16 seconds, 22 seconds later, Gino gets the absolute dagger that goes into the New Jersey Devils. I don't know. This is everything that we've really been looking forward to seeing from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Two lines, Gino and Sid just getting it going, just putting the team on their back and saying, I don't care how many goals we need, we're going to get it. Look, the goaltending tonight was not good from New Jersey. Allen had a 750 save percentage tonight on only 20 saves. That's not a good outing for him. That's an absolutely terrible outing for him. But I don't know. This New Jersey Devils team just is not the same team as last year. I think this is definitely this is it for them. And let's face it, the Pens are barely holding on. This gets them to 79 points. Looks like the Islanders are going to hold on to a win against Chicago. They're playing Chicago tonight. The good thing is the Caps lost, but both the Flyers and Detroit are off. So these are your proverbial games on hand, right? These are the games you need to win, and the Pens won them. So that's really good sign. So 79 points. That still puts them 2 points behind the Islanders, who are also out of a playoff race, but only puts the Islanders 1 point behind the Capitals and Detroit, who both own the last spots. Flyers are still in that third spot. The Detroit and Washington are in the wild card spots. Look, I know that this is improbable that the Penguins can come back and actually gain a playoff spot. They still have a huge uphill climb, but you know what? That makes Thursday's game at Washington just the hugest game of the year by far. I mean, if they can beat Washington, look, Washington's ahead of them. What did I say? Washington has 82 points. That gets them within 1 point of the Capitals. And the Capitals own that spot now. Now, it could be that the Islanders win a game between now and then, and they jump into that spot. But hey, only not having to jump over the Devils now and putting the Devils in your review mirror, hopefully, if you can continue to win. I don't know. Crazier things have been known to happen, and I know the NHL loves to have it close towards the end. Look, this is the Penguins' sixth game in a row where they scored a point. 4-0-2. I know I'm not going to say 0-2. The Penguins are 4-2 with 2 overtime losses. That gives them 10 points out of 12. That's exactly what they needed to get out of this. But the only problem is they need to keep it going. This is their best win streak since December, when they went 5-0-1 before they melted down again. I don't know how they're going to keep it going. Look, Ned's been the juggernaut throughout this whole thing. Ned's been in every one of these games. He actually started that overtime loss at Colorado. We're going back to the Colorado game, and then Ned came in for a little bit, remember? And then they put Jari came back in, and then they put Ned back in, remember? That was the game that they lost in overtime. Look, Ned's been in this, and he hasn't been actually great. Hasn't had to make a lot of saves lately. In one of the games, he only had 19 saves. That was at Columbus, but he had a .974 save percentage in that win. That was the Carolina game. That was probably his best game. That win, that 4-1 win to Carolina, that was his best game. But 895, 921, 933. He only had an 885 save percentage tonight. He wasn't great. He's probably getting tired, but I know Sully's going to ride that hot hand as much as he can. And I think he's just going to continue to ride it. And why not? The Penguins are on their best streak since December. So that's what's going on with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So tonight, Pittsburgh Penguins score 5 goals. That's right, 5 goals tonight in the third period. And they're still relevant in the playoff conversation. There's going to have to continue to win if they're going to want to jump into a playoff spot. However, the good thing is they do play against Washington, Detroit, and the Islanders in these last 7 games. So they have a chance to help their own cause. They're just going to have to hold serve against Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, and Nashville. They're playing against some really good teams. So if they can do it, they'll deserve it. So tonight, another win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's 6 games in a row they're scoring points. And you know what? All it takes is just a little bit of faith, Pittsburgh Penguins fans. So you better keep that faith and say it loud and say it proud. Let's go, Pens.